The name Christy Kinahan looms large in the shadowy world of organized crime. A notorious figure with links to drug trafficking and money laundering, Kinahan has managed to evade justice for years, despite numerous law enforcement efforts to bring him to justice. But what's perhaps even more intriguing is the mystery surrounding Kinahan's seemingly unshakable protection from a high-ranking politician in Zimbabwe. What is the connection between these two men, and what secrets are they keeping hidden from the public eye? In this video, we delve into the shadowy world of Kinahan's criminal empire and explore the web of corruption and intrigue that surrounds his relationship with one of Zimbabwe's most powerful politicians. Here we begin. Christy Kinahan is hiding in southern Africa. Christy Kinahan, or better known as Dapper Don, has been fleeing from the police, and new reports suggested that he is hiding Zimbabwe, the cartel's African bolt hole. Yes, you heard it right. He is now operating his business in southern Africa. The international manhunt has already begun for him and his two sons, Daniel and Christopher Jr. His $1 drug cartel has surely reached the international headlines. So now the main question arises: how is he spending time in Zimbabwe? Why are the Zimbabwe police not responding to the emerging cartel's power in Africa? Well, it's unknown to all that Christy Kinahan has some powerful connection. This time, it is the corrupt politicians. Why did he move to Africa? You all know that it's not easy to tie in with the politicians, and it will take time to build such a strong connection. Christy Kinahan and his associates were aware of this fact, and they have spent years building this connection with the Zimbabwe politicians. So they knew that Dubai would not be able to safeguard them, and they feared that their base in Dubai would meet its end soon. This is why, from the very first, they were planning for their second base, and there's no place other than Africa that will meet their needs. During 2015-17, the two associates started their operation to construct their second base in Africa, as local and international law was evolving to be a great threat to them. Why is Christy Kinahan protected by corrupt politicians? So far, you have seen that Christy Kinahan and his associates are hiding somewhere in Zimbabwe, and they are now controlling their drug business from there. And the main reason why they can do it is because of corrupt politicians. They have certainly enjoyed their protection, despite the concerns raised by the international authorities about it. But it looks like the corrupt politicians do not care about anything, which clearly shows how powerful Christy Kinahan is. Now you must be wondering how the authorities learned about this connection. Well, nothing can be hidden for too long in this technologically advanced technological era. WhatsApp messages were found where it was seen that Kinahans were threatening people if they didn't cooperate with them, and as there were no choices left, the politicians started helping them. They even threatened that no one should bother to cross Kinahan, as well as his son Daniel's path, and if someone did, they might face the worst days of their short life. So this is how they were controlling people at the top, which ultimately made them stronger than ever. What's more shocking is that the Zimbabwe police have been aware of all of these since 2020, but they were not able to do anything to stop the cartel. They have expressed their concerns, but nothing positive came out of it. Christy Kinahan is having a lavish life in Zimbabwe. You have all seen how Kinahan is having a fine time in Zimbabwe, away from any troubles that might disrupt their business. You will find that they even have an office to run their business and access to a lavish house in Zimbabwe. Reports suggested that they have a fleet of luxury cars, and their house welcomes delegates from Turkey, Ireland, UAE, and Spain. One of Kinahan's cars, a Mercedes-Benz ML63, is undergoing another separate police investigation, although we don't know the reason behind it. Is Christy Kinahan planning a new life there? Of course this might be true if we consider how he spends huge sums for his lavish life in Africa. The authorities seem to be turning away from this growing concern, which might increase Kinahan's dominance in Africa. The most wanted criminal dreams of buying around 9 planes from the Egyptian Air Force, mainly to export drugs abroad. Let's look at other arrangements he is making now. The Dapper Don is trying to secure a marriage license in Africa so that he can build a permanent bolt hole in Zimbabwe. Furthermore, he plans to move permanently with his partner and his children to Zimbabwe. But reports suggest that his marriage and visa are blocked, but it is barely making any trouble for him because he has the support of the top leaders. So it clearly shows that he is not stopping anytime soon, and he is making Zimbabwe the new cartel kingdom. Christy Kinahan's origin. The leader of the world's largest criminal gangs, Christy Kinahan wasn't born to be a criminal leader. Instead, he has just selected this criminal life on his own. It is shocking to see how a smart boy who got his education from one of the best schools in Ireland opted to come to be a crook. In the 1970s, he was just associated with meager crimes like theft, property crimes, and burglary, but things changed drastically when he turned to the drug business in the 1990s. Initially, he operated an inner Dublin dealing ring with one of his old associates, Thomas Kavanagh. But this was not his dream. Instead, he dreamt of something big that could change the world. He is such a smart criminal that when serving a sentence in the late 90s, he used his free time to learn Dutch and Spanish. You must have guessed already that he was thinking of growing his drug trade abroad. Christy Kinahan's crimes. The once-upon-a-time smart kid is now all over the news, not because of good deeds, but some of the worst crimes that the world has ever witnessed. The U.S. Army has even circulated that they were rewarded $5 million to anyone who would give solid information regarding the whereabouts of the most wanted man, but nothing came out of it. The Kinahan is synonymous with all sorts of crimes, including gun smuggling, murder, drugs, etc. In 2016, there was an assassination attempt on his son, Daniel, which resulted in a bloody conflict with one of Ireland's notorious Hutch families. Let me inform you that this feud caused 18 people dead. Dublin has encountered numerous murders, mostly done by the Kinahans. You must be wondering why the authorities were not able to control them. This is mainly because they were regulating everything from Dubai, where glittering skylines hide everything, including the dark crimes that no law has controlled. Furthermore, there is no extradition treaty between Ireland and Dubai, so no attempts can be made to drag the Kinahans back to their hometown. One of Christy Kinahan's sons, Daniel, who runs the cartel's day-to-day business, is a professional boxer with connections with mighty fighters like Tyson Fury. However, Tyson has now distanced himself from the criminal. What's surprising is that Daniel has always denied the fact that he is related to the Kinahan's drug business. One of his original statements says, "I can't be any clearer on the fundamental slur. I am not part of a criminal gang or any conspiracy. I have no convictions, none, not just in Ireland but anywhere in the world." By this he means to say that he is not a part of the criminal gang, and he has done nothing wrong. But what about the proof? How can he deny the fact that his father is the most wanted man in the world? If somehow police are able to capture Christy Kinahan and his two sons, then the Dublin people will be the happiest people in the world, because they believe that these men are responsible for all illegal crimes that have occurred in their land, and how their peace has been severely disrupted by the Kinahans. If all goes well and police can get their hands on the corrupted politicians, then this day might come soon when the most wanted man will be behind bars, and no law can protect him anytime soon, although it seems to be far away considering the present situation. So what do you think of the entire situation? Comment below and subscribe for more.